I'm Maxwell checking in out here at Roundtree Moore Toyota out in Lake City, Florida. And they got a big, beautiful store. Follow me in here because what we're going to talk about today, I know the last time I used the whiteboard, people really loved it, okay? And today what we're going to talk about is the 5 common objections that you're going to deal with when you're helping a person buy a vehicle. Come on. And as you can see, again, beautiful store. Look at this. And this is like a secondary, that's a secondary showroom that they have here. But I'm going to take you in here and we're going to talk about it. So there's typically 5 objections that you're going to hear when you're helping a customer, all right? And we're going to attack these objections, all right? So let's go through them. So as far as the 5 common objections, and I'll let my camera lady get on over there so we can get this right. 5 most common objections when you're selling a car. You're going to have to think about it, you're going to shop around, you're going to speak to the spouse, price is too high, and want more for the trade. Now, what do any of these objections mean? What they all come down to is uncertainty in the mind of your customer, your guest, or your prospect at your dealership. And in a lot of situations, these objections are used as deflections because most sales consultants are weak, or they've never been educated and trained on how to deal with these and do what's called circling back or looping, which is where you hear an objection and you acknowledge that you hear it, but you loop back around to kind of reinforce the features and the benefits to kind of take that uncertainty that they have and minimize it or eliminate it as possible. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to touch on each one of these 5 very briefly so that the next time you have that type of situation, you know how to handle it. So now, when a customer says that they want to think about it, let's be real with each other. In today's society, a person goes online, they're doing research, they're looking at who has it, they're looking at what the prices are, what type of features it has on it. So by the time they actually get in their vehicle and drive to a dealership, guess what? They'll know more about the vehicle in a lot of situations than the sales consultant will. Why? Because the sales consultant has somewhat of a fleet to be knowledgeable about, and they've just got that one. So after sitting with a sales professional going through all of that and they say, I want to think about it, the very first thing the sales consultant needs to do is acknowledge, hey, listen, I hear you. You know, I'd be lying to you if I told you that you were the first person that ever said that to me. But I want to get some clarification on exactly, what you want to think about to make sure that we're on the right vehicle. And at this point, this is where you want to go through the 3 F's. And that's the fit, the features, or the finances. Where you just want to ask them, hey, listen, most of the time when somebody tells me that they want to think about it, it's either because they're not interested or they're interested but not quite sure. Which one of those is it for you? Well, I'm interested but not quite sure. Awesome. Well, that typically boils down to one of 3 things. I call it the 3 F's. It's either not the right fit, doesn't have the right features, or it's the finances. So let's go through each one of those to give us a better understanding of where you are. And so I can explain it to my manager and see what we can do to kind of help you with that. That's how you want to go through, think about it, okay? Shop around. Let's really think about what a customer has to do to actually shop around. And when they shop around, they're looking for the best price. In order for a customer to actually get the best price, they would have to go to every competitive dealership in the area, and they would have to get prices from each and every one of them in order to actually find out what the best price actually is. Let me grab my marker real fast. What the best price actually is. And so we can actually help them with that simply by many times educating them on exactly what that takes. Hey, listen, ma'am or sir, I totally hear you shopping around, and that just makes you intelligent. You want to make sure you're getting the best bang for your buck, don't you? Typically, they're going to say, yeah, okay, well, let me explain to you and help you guys out to make sure you can find that and go through exactly what you need to do. And then you just want to explain to them, in order for you to actually get the best price, when you leave here, you're going to drive 6 miles over to XYZ Toyota, XYZ Ford, and you're going to get with a sales consultant, and they're going to take you through the process, and they're going to take you on the demo drive, and then they're going to present you with numbers. In order for them to actually present you with accurate numbers, they may need to run your information. And you do run a risk of maybe that being reduced a little bit if you haven't done too many times, but they need to do that in order to actually give you the best possible price they can. And then you'd have to go over to the next store in the area and the next store. By the time a person goes through 5 or 6 stores, their credit potentially can be dropped by 50 to 100 points. And they've done all that driving around to find out that the difference between the best price and the one that they got is $500, maybe even $1,000. Well, really, what you can do to save them time, ask them, what exactly is it that you're shopping around looking for? Is it the best price? Is this the right option for you? Or is there something else that I may have missed, okay? The third one, speak to spouse. Now, This one boils down to what's called an internal buying system. And the worst thing you could do is when somebody has an internal buying system, if they've been talking to a spouse for 20 years, to a pastor for the last 10 years, if they've been praying about it, you're not going to get that person to change their internal buying system that fast. But what you can do is acknowledge, hey, listen, I totally get it. Makes you very respectful. But since you want to speak to that person, let me ask you, because you know them better than I would, what questions do you feel that they would have? What type of information do you feel is important to them? Now, any questions that they have or information they say is important, guess what? 9 times out of 10, it's probably important to them, but they're deflecting it, using it on that person. And from the questions that they have and the information they're looking for, go ahead and you present it as if that other person was there. Don't act like the deal is over, because you'd be amazed at how many times somebody will share that information with you. You can educate them, and all of a sudden, voila, they're able to do business and they no longer need to speak to that person. But acknowledge it and then find out what you think, what do they feel the other person be looking for. Remember, not what they think, but what they feel. Thinking is analytical. Feeling is emotional, and people buy 90% based off emotion and back it up with 10% logic, okay? The price is too high. Now this one everybody believes is the deal breaker, and it's not. The price being too high many times is just a deflection again. But acknowledge it. Hey, listen, I hear you. I hear you saying the price too high, but let me ask you this question. What exactly are you comparing this price to? Find out what they're comparing it to make sure they're comparing apples to apples, because it could be apples to grapes. It could be apples to bananas, and you want to make sure you're comparing apples to apples. So when the price is too high, hey, listen, I totally get that. Let me ask you, what exactly are you comparing this price to feel like this is too high for this? Okay, and once you hear that out, if it's another vehicle of another brand, maybe point out the benefits and whatnot. If it's something else, whatever it is, at least you have the information. The last is more for the trade. Now here's the reason why in this business there's so much pushback, because they expect a trade. If I tell you I want to trade you my bottled water for your bottled water, you're looking for something for equal or greater value. Now think about it. A person comes in to trade in their vehicle, may get 5, 10, 15, may even get 20,000. To invest in another vehicle, 9 times out of 10, what they're investing in is going to be more than what it is that they're trading in. And a lot of times, you do have those rarities where it's not like that, but in most cases, that's what it is. Now, in this situation, you can use what's called a pattern interrupt. The way that starts is, hey, listen, I saw that you drove in a 2010 Toyota Tacoma. Let me ask you a question. Are you interested in selling that? Because we may be interested in buying it. Okay? Now, what that does, the word trade was never used. So later on, when you come out with the good news that, hey, listen, I got with management, they looked at your truck, and man, we're willing to buy it from you for XYZ number of dollars. Watch how much that will reduce your pushback, because they're not expecting a trade. Now what they're expecting is a buying and selling situation, which is really what it is, okay? And these, I can go so much more in depth on each one of these, but I wanted to touch on them because I know there's somebody out there that gets stumped by one of these each and every day, and it doesn't have to be that way. If you know you've been struggling with overcoming these objections and you're looking for a way for you to be able to overcome and handle them, the good news for you is there's a link in the description, because I have over 50 word tracks available to help you overcome and handle these objections that I'm willing to allow you to utilize, have to launch your career to another level, convert more sales, and make more money. You'll have access to the Ultimate Online Automotive Sales Training Program, complete with over 3 hours of audio, video, sales training manual, actual visual. You'll have access to be 1 hour in a live training session with myself on top of the audio and video. So it's actually 4 hours. You have the digital manual that you can download to your phone. The audios you can play through your Bluetooth, listen to on your computer, on your laptop, wherever it is, that take you through the steps to the step, but not just the step, the psychology behind it.